What's happening, everybody? Happy Friday. It's Damon Cunningham, and it's Two Mics Up Business Corner, back with a brand new episode. And today we're going to get anointed, if you will. Today's guest, is a global award winning self published author. She's a speaker, she's a DEI consultant, and just an all around amazing human being. And that's what makes today really special because we're going to try to touch and cover all of these hats that this amazing woman is bringing to our community. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me and join me in bringing to the other mic today's guest, Dr. Heather Robinson. Dr. Robinson, how you doing today?
TGIF, it's Friday.
I know that's right. Can't beat it, man. I love it. And Heather, every story, has a beginning. And we have to start there. And before we dive into your incredible background and the work that you're doing, let's start with just a simple question. Who is Heather Robinson?
Heather Robinson is a girl that grew up in Philadelphia with humble beginnings, the youngest of nine. Um, I was brought up in the Philadelphia school systems. I know that probably doesn't sound great today, but back when I was in school, it was probably ranked as one of the top school systems. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Born and
Hey,
raised in
hey, look,
Philadelphia.
Hey, look, ain't nothing wrong with that. Look here, we hear the Fresh Prince. You know what I'm saying? Born and raised, yeah, and everything, and being born and raised, and then really going through your journey. Uh, you know, uh, from reading and kind of working on this conversation. You went to Temple University. And then you now transitioned into founding Anointed to Write. Like, kind of walk us through. Like, were there any pivotal moments that maybe shaped your career path and led you to become a leader in education?
Well, as a child coming up, I had 5 IEPs.
Mm,
And I came up in a different time. And I say that because the teachers were different.
mm, good point.
The block, if you will, was different. So
Hmm.
that whole "it takes a village to raise a child" really meant something when I was coming up. So if Sally Sue's mom across the street or down the street saw you doing something you had no business doing, she could correct you, and that was acceptable.
Mm, mm,
Today, if Sally Sue's mom see you doing something down the street, she better turn the other cheek and not say nothing to you.
mm, mm.
So not just was the block like that, but the school was like that, from administration on to teachers. You had your elective teachers back then. You had gym, you had art, you
Right,
had your NTAs, you had custodians, any and everybody that was an authority figure, you
right,
respected. It
right.
was it just was something that you did because that was the time that we were in.
Hmm.
And I had a father that advocated for me because my mom passed when I was 7. And I
Right.
had teachers that advocated for me. But then my father passed 2 months before my 16th birthday around Thanksgiving when I was 15.
Oh, wow.
So one of the most pivotal moments for me was realizing in the moment when he passed away, and people will probably be upset for me saying this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Nobody loves you the way your parents do, and
Mm,
nobody will care for you the way your parents do.
so true.
People will pick up the pieces and they will help,
Right.
but you do feel a difference when it's your parent versus not your parent. And that's not to take away from what anybody has done for other people, but that's just stating a reality. And if you have not been in that scenario, you probably
Hmm.
won't understand it. But having
Yeah.
a father that advocated for me and having teachers that cared even after he passed on, that actually was what I ran away from for a while. So when I went to Temple, I didn't get a degree in education. I got it in Africana studies.
Okay. Okay.
So it wasn't until I tried to get a job in social work and they told me I couldn't because I didn't have 6 months of work experience in social work. So I thought, how am I going to get in social work if nobody hires me? Okay.
Right. Right. Right.
Then I fell into a job that someone told me about, and it was supposed to be temporary. and it wind up being something that I've been in for 22 years. And then 2020, what was it? In 2012, I went for my master's. And then last year, I got my PhD, and the rest is history. Here we are now. I wanted to do more of what was done when I was younger
Yeah.
because I don't see a lot of that being done. We've lost that. It takes a village to raise a child. And my mission is to get educators, administrators, and parents all on the same page so that they can again be that village for each individual child.
Yeah, you bring up very good points. We have become a very individualistic type society, where
Hmm.
we isolate ourselves, and it's not very communal anymore. But I want to take a moment and step back, because for people who are listening, and they really understand when you're talking about IEPs, right? Um, these are like kind of individualized education, right? Where it kind of works for those who may have some form of disability or anything, if I'm correct. And I don't want that to go overlooked, because that is critical too, because we have students that learn differently
Hmm.
than what, like you said, teachers that may follow the school script or the norm, versus
Hmm.
understanding the student uh, has a different technique. Maybe it's music or sound or a visualized text. So can you just kind of talk about that? Because I want to make sure that our audience really understands when you talk about the IEPs, they really get a clear understanding of what you're talking about.
So an IEP is an individualized education plan. So that
Hmm.
individualizes whatever your plan is for that child, whether it is they are on the spectrum, whether they have whatever the behavior little idiosyncrasies are, whatever their whatever their struggle is, if you will, if you allow me to say it like that, the
Hmm.
individualized education plan is supposed to cater to the particular child. So it's
Right.
not like general education where it's basic for all the children in the class. This is supposed to be tailored to that individual child. And what
Hmm.
that does is it helps the teachers and the parents, or it's supposed to help the teachers and the parents implement something together as a community so that this
Right.
child has consistency in the home and in the classroom so that they can soar.
Yeah, and I just wanted to touch on that so that everyone gets a full picture understanding of what we're talking about in that sense, and how it's really throughout time. I know from my age group, uh, it was very, and I was blessed too, like you, to have some teachers that really identified with me, because I was a little different in the sense, like I was one of those kids. Sometimes it was like they teachers looked at me like I was taking things for granted. I was the type of kid, though, I was able to visualize, so I could look at a page and I can visualize that page in my head. Or I learned how to speed read and pick out the things that were, the message in that page. So for me, sometimes I think teachers thought I was being funny or comedic because my time was spent doing other things. But when I took the test, I always pass A's, B's, whatever, and the teacher looking at me like, and it wasn't until I had some teachers that really honed in and just sat and talked with me, like, how do you go about your process and really learning what I did. This way, they gave me extra work to keep me busy, so
Hmm.
I wasn't disturbing the class or disturbing those who really needed more time and attention. So I totally get it. It's very important, and you talk about in your work, Dr. Robinson, a mantra of visibility plus credibility equals equitability. Now that's really a dope mantra. And could you really talk to us about, how that applies and what steps, if any, can maybe institutions or organizations use that mantra and implement it in their daily work or educational word period? Because that's a really dope mantra, and I just can't wait to hear how what does it mean and how does it play out.
So when you think about visibility, you think about visual. How are
Right.
you seen?
Right.
Right. And so your visibility is important because people need to see you to know that you exist. So you have to make yourself and your brand visible. If you're
Mm,
somebody that's behind the scenes of a brand, you have to push the brand harder because it's a faceless brand, but you
right.
have to be visible, right?
Mm,
And with your credibility, what is it that makes you credible? Why should I choose you over other people that are doing what you do? And in terms of choosing a school, for instance, why should I choose your school over the 36 other schools in the district, right? Just throwing
right.
a number out there. I'm from Philly. Back
Right.
then, it was that many schools. I don't think it is anymore. But
Right.
those are the things that we're looking at. What makes you credible? What is it that makes your curriculum stand out? What is it
Mm,
that makes your teachers not what make your teachers credible, but what makes them different in their
mm-hmm.
approach? Why
Mm,
are they teaching? What are the teaching strategies?
right.
Right. So you look at all these different things when you're looking at who to link arms with, if you will. What makes you credible?
Mm,
Do you have the
yeah.
degree? Do you have the years of experience? Do you have any type of background? Do you have the reviews? Do you have the data?
Mm-hmm.
What is it that makes you credible?
Yeah.
We need to see what makes you credible, which is why visibility and credibility together get you to that equitability, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay you for a
Yeah.
service if I don't see what makes your service worth my time, energy, and money.
Mm,
What's the
I think
impact?
that
So
part.
that's the part that's important with understanding this whole visibility and credibility equaling equitability. You're never going to make money off of anything if you don't have a clear why, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not visible, and it's not
Mm-hmm.
credible. Then
Yeah.
it goes to the
I
why. How do I make myself visible and credible?
mm-hmm. I really love it because that's app that applies to so many different industries, really, and everything
Hmm.
um that we do. I mean, it's the same thing, two mics up, why why am I doing this? To be able to highlight, hidden gems like yourself, that we have so many different talents and so many different industries that are in our own backyards that
Hmm.
a lot of us don't know exist. And to then, make it credible by sharing these stories, giving a platform to be able to share these stories so that you see value. Because this is, we live in a time, we talk about time, how times change. Uh, you know, Podcasts and platforms and talk shows like this are like your library nowadays. If you're
Hmm.
looking for something or you want to find out more about something, this is an opportunity now for you to have your own walking library, whether it be on your phone, your laptop, or whatever it is, and you can gain that knowledge. And that's why I'm really honored and proud, to be able to use Two Mics Up for that. And I loved, just how you broke that visibility, credibility, equitability. I love that, and I hope those of you who are watching or listening to this, you apply that to your business as well, because that's really key for us to be able to push forward small businesses, entrepreneurs, whoever it is, for you to be able to push forward, especially in this time that we live in. And I wanna also ask, because you are an award-winning um, DEI consultant, right? And you're coaching. Like, how do you approach integrating, that DEI into like the educational piece in a way that it creates that lasting impact for students and educators alike?
Well, with administrators, when you're going into a traditional school setting, the administrators have to have a clear vision. If you don't have a why behind it, it's not going to work, because your teachers need to buy into what the why is. But so do your parents. So if you're going to implement something in a different way, where you are gaining an understanding and then sharing that understanding with your staff and with your parents so that they can better meet the individual needs of your students, you have to first have your clear vision. Once you have your clear vision of, okay, DEI is important because X, Y, and Z for our particular vision that we have for our school, and taking it to the next level, then that's when you can go into doing the research, doing the data, trying to kind of streamline, if you will, the curriculum where there's a balance
Mm,
without erasing the general
general
education part,
education.
if you allow me
Right.
to say it that way.
Right. That's really dope. And you're you're really on the, I don't say the cutting edge, but you're leading into something that's really, I think, going to be beneficial to a lot of people. You have an upcoming event, but I'm going to tease that event, ladies and gentlemen. So don't you go anywhere because I want to take a pause for the cause. I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors here at Two Mics Up for allowing us to be here each and every Friday to talk to such incredible guests like Dr. Heather Robinson. So stay tuned for a short break. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. We'll see you on the other side.
94 Media House specializes in transformative digital design that elevates your brand to new heights. Whether you need stunning graphic design, impactful branding, or a captivating web presence, our team is here to bring your vision to life. Join the ranks of successful businesses that trust 94 Media House for their digital design needs. Let's make your brand unforgettable. Contact us today.
Experience unforgettable memories with Riddick Entertainment and Events, the premier event planners in Northern Virginia. We specialize in crafting extraordinary weddings and events tailored to your vision. Led by the husband and wife team of Saeed and Michelle Riddick, we ensure your special day is stress-free and memorable. Don't leave your memories to chance. Let Riddick Entertainment help you create lasting moments. Contact us today to start planning your unforgettable event.
Unleash flavor with Tico Rico hot sauce, made from fresh, homegrown peppers for a vibrant taste. Enjoy the perfect blend of heat and zest with our habanero and refreshing Serrano lime sauces. Ideal for tacos, seafood, or salads, Tico Rico enhances any dish. Join the Tico Rico family today and elevate your meals with our award-winning sauces. Visit us online to grab your starter kit and discover the magic of Tico Rico.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're fresh back out the break with the incredibly talented Dr. Heather Robinson, Anointed to Write LLC. She is so much more. She's a self-published author. She's an educator. She's just dope. Let's just call it what it is. Straight out of Philly. You know what I'm saying? Well, she's doing her thing up there up north, rocking for us and bringing so much to the community. And I want to take the time to lead in to, Dr. Wright, you really have an upcoming event, Education Rise Voices of Change. And this is set to launch April 25th, 2025. Now, I want to give you a few minutes to really talk about it because I think it's an incredible event that you're bringing together. But what is it one all about? And two, though, I really like to know what is the inspiration that was really behind this thought and this process for you to actually want to bring this to life and bring it to others.
All right, I'm going to work backwards and then come back to present
Okay.
day. 3 years ago, God gave me the vision to do a book anthology. Now, I've never been the visionary of an anthology before this one. I've been a part of other people's anthologies, and I've self-published 3 books before then. But a lot of times he gives me something and I sit on it, which you're not supposed to do that, but I'm a work in progress. So fast forward to, I want to say like October, I was talking to a friend of mine, actually between August and October, a friend of mine was talking to me because we got our PhDs together to like graduation. She spoke to me and then I actually hosted and I was a keynote speaker at her event that was in August. So we were talking and talking and talking and she was like, it's time for you to stop being scared and step out. What you mean? I do step out. I speak. I step out. She said, no, God keeps redirecting you back to education and you keep running from it. I did. I ran away for a year.
Wow.
And then I wound up going back. So I reached out to my graphic designer, got some stuff together. And then I went into a group on Facebook. And all I did was write in like I just wrote it out. I typed it out. I said, I'm doing a book for educators. I gave the title and I said, is anybody interested? The comments flooded. Now, I didn't think I was going to get anybody to be a part of this book, but I was like, let me go ahead and try. Well, fast forward, I have 7 authors. I would make 8, but I have 7 authors under me who entrusted me with, some of them, this is their first time ever being in a book. These people entrusted me enough to pay me to lead the way for them to actually be in their first book. Now, the book is called Educators Rise, Voices of Change. And this is a volume 1 of 3 volumes.
Okay.
And one of the inclusions was podcast interviews. Another one was a billboard, which we're going to be on a billboard in New York Times above the Pete's store
Okay.
on this next Saturday, which is the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be showing every hour on the hour, 48 minutes after the hour for the whole day. You know, they do it for 24 hours.
Right.
The other thing that was promised was they were going to have a conference. So on June 28th, we're actually having an in-person conference in Exton, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And that is where they'll actually be able to shine from the stage. So it gives them the opportunity where, for those who've never had the opportunity, they'll be able to grace the stage. They'll be able to discuss whatever they want to discuss pertaining to their chapter in the book. Actually, my authors did 2 chapters,
Okay.
something that has not been done.
I
You got to
love
just
that.
go by the leading of the Holy Spirit. But they
I
did 2
love that.
chapters. So you can pick which one of your chapters you want to talk about. You can talk about both of them, however you want to do it. The thing that makes this event something different than I've ever been to, and I've been to a lot of in-person events.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times with education conferences, it's like 9 to 5, and there's a lot of like conference talk.
Right.
You don't have a lot of entertainment, if you will. So
Right. Yes.
I break up the conference where right in the middle, we're doing a slay the runway. So
What?
you're coming dressed to impress, but the caveat is you have to dress in a way that represents who you are.
I love that.
So whatever that looks like to you, where it's gala appropriate, you're going to come, you get a chance to walk the runway, and then there's a prize for number 1 male pick, number 1 female pick.
That's dope. That's hot. That's fire. That's dope. I love that. Really nice. I mean, you're giving a whole new spin to individuality, elegance at the same time. You're giving your education. You're giving entertainment. I mean, why wouldn't you, ladies and gentlemen, want to be a part of something like this? And while we're talking about it, where can people go? Anybody watching or listening to this, where can they go? One, to support, donate, or do whatever they can to help you make this vision, come to life. Take a moment and share it for us, please.
All right. So for those who want to be a sponsor for the event, if you want to sponsor for the swag bag, or if you want to donate a silent auction basket, or if you would like to get a ticket, which by the way, we have early bird special going on right now, you can visit my website, anointed2right.com. Everything's on the website. If you want to purchase the book, if you want to register for the actual conference, or if you want to sponsor, all of that is on the website.
So there's the website for you, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you go ahead, you go out if you want to be a part of this. You like to donate, sponsor, get your books, whatever it may be. Swag bags is all there on the website. And make sure you share this with a friend or someone who you may feel or know that would be interested in participating or helping, Dr. Robinson continue her excellent work as she does in the community to help others. I mean, we're living in such a strange time. There's so many different things that are going on. We need different types of outreach and services and things such as this. So go ahead and get behind it. And time is flying, Doctor. Right? Please go ahead, if you would, take a moment and share your social media, because I would like, again, for our audience to get behind you and support you through social media as well.
Well, all my social media is on my website, but for Instagram, it's anointed_to_right. And then for Facebook, it is Anointed to Right LLC. You can also find me by looking up my name. All of that stuff comes up. It'll pop up under Google or any of the social media, and it's also on my website.
All right. Listen, this has been an amazing conversation, Dr. Wright, and I mean Dr. Robinson. And before we close, if there is someone, a young boy or girl, listening to this and they wanted to become a writer or get involved in education, what would you share with them as a good way to really explore and really find out if this is the route that they want to take?
For education, if it's the route you want to take, I
Hmm.
would suggest you either start at a daycare or become a teacher's aide at a school. When you become a teacher's aide, it shows you a little bit more of the actual school. And a lot of people do that while they're going to school for education, because a lot of times, if you're a teacher's aide there and you get a degree and certification, you have a better chance of solidifying yourself because your foot is already in the door. As far as writing, maybe just start writing a blog. Blogs are free. There's a lot of free websites to write blogs, and you'll determine if it's something that you want to do and if you get a lot of traction, or you can sign up to be a part of anthologies. A lot of people nowadays, they're signing up to be a part of an anthology to see if writing a book is for them, where they're writing one chapter instead of the whole book.
Mm,
So
that's
those
powerful.
are my
That's powerful information. That's really good stuff. Thank you so much, Dr. Robinson, for just being so incredible and providing, your services to others in our community that really, really need it. We wish you continued success here at Two Mics Up. You are now part of the family. You are always welcome to come back at any time. If you want to come back, and again, we talk about June, you're more than welcome to come back and talk about that and share more details. Would love to have you come back and talk about that. Wish you nothing but continued success and thank you again for joining us today.
thank you.
Uh, all right, ladies and gentlemen. So there you have it. Another incredible conversation with the Dr. Heather Robinson, public speaker, author, you name it, she does it. Get out behind her and support her and what she's doing in the Philadelphia area. It's really important. It's really impactful. And we really need to get behind it and help move the needle, if you will. There's so many of our children and educators alike in the community that they really need your support, So go ahead and go out and take some time to get behind it. I'm your humble host, Damon Cunningham. This is season 8 of Two Mics Up, on Infusion TV. This is our business corner segment, Fridays, 1 o'clock on our YouTube channel and Infusion TV, which is part of the #1 network for positive programming, the Mogul TV Global Network. Check us out. I hope you enjoy. And if you want to follow me or Two Mics Up online, you can follow us, with our social media, IG, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Two Mics Up, online at www.twomicsup.com. We are a 4-time award winning talk show, and we're still growing. And I thank you for your support. And like we always do, we do real talk with some of the dopest guests around, like Dr. Heather Robinson. And like we do at the end of each and every show, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with 3 things. May you all stay safe, stay blessed. Mike's out.